My warrior brothers, too long have we suffered at the hands of rogues. Today, this day, we will stand up and fight for what we believe in. Fight for each other. Fight for the warrior class. I call to you. Cast aside your double time and spec Juggernaut, even Warbringer if you must. Trust not in enraged regen or impending victory. Second wind will carry you through. Do not make the mistake I did and go with disrupting shout. Try staggering shout, or even piercing howl if you must. The time of Bladestorm has come and passed, but now we must put our trust in Shockwave to lock those rogues in place, stop them from dodging or parrying our mighty blows, and cut them down. Ah, Dragon Roar, you make the noobs explode, but rogues are no noobs. They're witty and quick, and one hit will not do them in. Trust in Safeguard to intervene away from the rogue. 75 talents are useless anyway. And at level 90, you must become the Avatar. You must rise above what a normal man is capable of and become the warrior god you are. Bloodbath and Stormbolt simply won't do. You must become the Avatar and slay the rogues. Break free of the binds we found ourselves in for far too long. The Glyph of Bull Rush is great, extra rage. Glyph of Blitz outstanding for threes, but for a duel, you must perhaps try Glyph of Die by the Sword, but if they blind you every time you die by the sword, trust in the Glyph of Mortal Strike, the Glyph of Destiny. The extra healing will help you survive their dagger strikes and crippling poisons and come out ahead. Now, listen closely, and I'll tell you how to defeat the rogues. When they first engage in combat, they will sap you and cheap shot. When you first regain control of your limbs, let loose an intimidating shout. Let them cower in fear. When it's almost over, charge in, apply hamstring and mortal strike, then shockwave. You must shockwave. If they trinket, die by the sword, and continue your assault. Most likely they will blind you on your die by the sword. If they're still bleeding and in combat, leap after them. If you can catch them now, you're in the lead. Since you kept them in combat, they must vanish. Be ready, for you must trinket this kidney shot unless you have preemptively shield walled. If you have not preemptively shield walled, trinket the cheap shot, use a defensive cooldown like shield wall, and be ready, because now you've got them. Now they're on the run. If you survive this next opener, you've won the duel, my friend. They will be sneaky. They will be careful. He elects to try to run. I will leap once more. Keep him in combat with my charge stun. Shockwave! Pop all my cooldowns and destroy the rogue once and for all. But it doesn't always go that smoothly. I will show you some mistakes you might make as a warrior. Never, ever use your PvP trinket before they've blinded you, or you will pay the price. Again, as soon as they open, catch them in the fear. Let it sit, charge them, apply your debuffs, and shockwave. I made two grave mistakes this duel. I did not shockwave in the opener, and I trinketed a blind, which leaves me in a position no warrior wants to be in. A position where many great warriors have fallen. No trinket, no defensive cooldowns, and dead on the battlefield. However, if you find yourself in the most dire situation, warriors are consistent and powerful, but we also are clever. And in our cleverness, we can be unpredictable, and we can catch the rogues slightly off guard. I must warn you, this is not a consistent strategy for victory. But surprisingly, I do trinket the blind, and I do shockwave, forcing him to trinket and vanish. Overconfidently, he reopens up on me, not realizing that I am the Avatar! I bait him into a reopen, and I slay him where he stands. Once again, I caution you, That is not a reliable strategy. But sometimes unpredictability can gain you the advantage. This, however, is a consistent strategy. Fear the opener. Charge in, hamstring, mortal strike, shockwave, the rogue will trinket. Now, if you can once again baffle the rogue by not using your die by the sword, perhaps you can bait him into a straight up brawl, which no rogue can stand up to the unabashed might of a warrior. He kidneys me, I trinket and die by the sword, and he bleeds to death due to the wounds he has taken from trying to engage a warrior in a straight up battle. However, you too can be the victim of overconfidence. Once again, I open up with a standard intimidating shout into charge hamstring mortal strike shockwave opener. However, this time, in my hubris, I do not use any defensive cooldowns in the way that I should, and I pay the price. As strong as your opener may seem to be, do not underestimate the rogue. I made 3 mistakes in the span of 3 seconds. I trinketed a cheap shot, not a kidney shot. I missed my heroic leap, thinking he shadow stepped, and I did not pop any defensive cooldowns before the disarm. So I lay face down dead in that duel. Do not follow my mistakes. Follow the consistent strategy of victory, and you will find yourself victorious more often than not, as I did versus a mighty rogue in Sensus. Remember, my warrior brothers, when you fight a rogue, you fight not only for yourself, not only for your own survival, but the honor and the freedom of all of your warrior brethren. So stay sharp, don't let your guard down, and fight strong, fight intelligently. Get very fortunate there, and fear his kidney shot with my fear opener. I charge in, apply my debuffs, shockwave, he will trinket this. After his trinket, I make sure I have my bleeds applied before I die by the sword, out of the disarm. Right now our health is approximately even. This is a good time to die by the sword, force him to blind me, and run away. Now remember, the rogue will have 2 more chances to open on you. You must survive these 2 openers, one with trinket, one with defensive cooldowns if you must, but try with all your might to not overlap them. You must survive too, you must save your cooldowns. I use rallying cry and shield wall this time, waiting ever so patiently to see the kidney shot, but I trinket the cheap shot, pop my cooldowns with a shockwave, and slay the rogue where he stands. You must be cautious, you must be patient. You will survive 3 openers this duel, 1 with the fear, 1 with the trinket, and 1 with defensive cooldowns. In this battle, I will show you the significance of using shockwave on your opener. If you do not, things get much more scary very, very quickly. As per the strategy, I do fear the opener. I charge, I hamstring, and mortal strike. Here I do not shockwave. Instead, I immediately pop die by the sword. As expected, he does blind me, but he vanishes here as well. I will trinket this opener, but I immediately must pop cooldowns and shockwave, or we're in deep, deep trouble. I get disarmed, heroic leap and charge back. He gouges me in an attempt to run, I heroically throw, and my bleed takes him out. However, you must stick to the consistent strategy, or else you can find yourself in a very dire situation. As we all know, the tide of battle takes very, very strange turns at times. Even if you play everything correct, fear the opener, charge in, hamstring, mortal strike, shockwave. He trinkets the shockwave. I still apply mortal strike, it's all okay. But he will blind my die by the sword. This decision to heroic leap after the road is sometimes very risky, and I will show you why. I will heroic leap and charge it, but he does still get the restill. So I will be reopened upon once again. I will trinket the kidney shot. However, things are looking very, very grim indeed. I will place a banner, intervene to try to get away and charge him back, but he will shadow step to me. He's getting low, he will vanish. You must predict this reopen, predictively shield wall and survive. You have done it! At last, your second shockwave is off cooldown, Pop all your offensives, shockwave the rogue, and claim the duel that is yours. You have won. The preemptive shield wall is quite a huge gamble, but this time it paid off. Are you beginning to see, my warrior brothers? Are you beginning to comprehend the power that lies in your hands? With this strategy, you too can consistently defeat even the mightiest of rogues. When he opens, you fear. Charge, hamstring, mortal strike, shockwave. He will trinket, apply your bleeds, and die by the sword. You will run away, fearing for his life against the might that is you, the warrior. The rogue will re-stealth and reopen on you. You must only use one cooldown here. I elect the trinket, but it puts me in a rough spot because now I must go very aggressive to force the rogue to reconsider his strategy. He does vanish, and now I find myself in a very grim position indeed. I do preemptively shield wall here, but to no avail. The very crafty rogue elects to hide behind the pillar, picking his moment to strike me down. However, in one moment of mistake, he decides to sap me instead of cheap shot, which gives me the opener I need to Berserker Rage the sap, shockwave him, and slay him where he stands. My warrior brothers, I know that rogues may seem infallible. Like wraiths from hell, they strike from the shadows and return to them at will. But I guarantee you this. If you cut them, they will bleed. And if you cut them deep enough, they will die. The way this duel must work is you fear his opener. Step back, charge, hamstring, mortal strike, shockwave. He will trinket. You get your bleeds up, pop die by the sword. He will blind you and run away. At this time, he will reopen on you. You must survive this opener. Rally and cry and shield wall if you must. Fight him head to head. He will vanish once again. When he opens once more, you trinket. He will have no trinket for this shockwave and offensive cooldowns. So you will kill him in this burst. If you do not, may the warrior gods Swifty and Clinda have mercy on your soul. No matter what happens, fight on. This will be a close fight. Any rogue will give you a run for your money, that's for damn sure. Even if weird shit happens, like you intervene to a weird banner and heroically charge to a guy just watching you duel. Fight on, my brothers. Fight on. Because even in the most grim and dismal circumstances, you are a warrior. Never forget that. At your side are generations of warriors just like yourself, fighting against the rogue class, struggling against their slows, crippled by their stuns. However, if you fight on bravely, the warrior class will not forsake you. You will be victorious. The rogue may run from you. He may open on you at 7% health, but fight on and shockwave him back to the shadowy depths from whence he came. You are a warrior.